And we're live.
Okay, guys.
Traverse City whiskey, dude. It's pretty good.
Whoa.
Hazy.
Let's go hazy, bro.
Good choice. All right. We successfully did not leave it on loop that time, so it didn't just automatically start the song. So we're improving week after week. But welcome, everybody, to Rug Roast episode number 7. I'm Bern. We've got OG here as well. And we've got today on the show Melon, special guest, and we also are having Money Clicc. We will be roasting Money Clicc, which is that's OG's project. So I'll be interviewing him. I'm gonna rate him very aggressively, yeah, I'm gonna ask him all the hard hitting questions, see if we can make him sweat. I doubt I will, but we're gonna try. So OG, we have an announcement to make. If you want to go ahead.
Yeah, look, it's been such a joy doing this show with Burn Dog. He's my super homie. I think, as I said to him, I spend my time in this space really focused on artists and collectors and on art and art ecosystems. And while PFPs is an area I do play in, I think, a much better format is for me to focus on things like what the Money Clicc does. So Burn Dog and I are still super homies. I'll be guest hosting whenever he wants, but we're going to transition. I'm going to move into a show, Money Never Sleeps, which focuses on these issues I just outlined, and Bird Dog's going to upgrade his co-host to a much more handsome, hair sweet, brilliant dude.
I don't know about that. I don't know if it's an upgrade. He's definitely capable, though. I mean, it's a good dude who will be coming on as the new host.
Yeah,
but big shoes to fill.
Thanks,
OG built, yeah, for sure. You built out the interview structure. At first, my idea was just like, yeah, let's fucking wing it, and you helped me really have it make more sense, right? So definitely appreciate that. And as we discussed, anytime you can come on the show, you're the only person who can request mid-show, and I'll let you up moving forward. So
appreciate it, brother, and it's a real joy. And I think, I feel hyped about all the guests we've had. I think, as everyone knows, the big artists and so on that we had on, that's the part I really enjoyed doing it. So, and Burn's going to be the ace at rating projects. Then I'll rate Burn. After each show, Burn, I'm going to rate you 3 decimal points.
Absolutely.
Right, should we do Money Clicc second or first? Maybe second.
We'll do Melon, and then we'll do Money Clicc. If you want to lead on Melon.
Okay, Melon. What we'd love is, why don't you give us a couple of sentences on the project, your role in the project, then a couple more on where we are, in terms of, have you been funded or not? Have you issued NFTs or not? And then quickly, what you're here looking to do.
Absolutely. So first of all, thank you guys for hosting us. We really appreciate it. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Congratulations on, everything you've been doing so far, collaborating with Rug Radio and building a platform for projects to showcase and build the future together. Absolute legends you guys are here during the boom, not the bull market, definitely not during the bear market, still building, still drinking, still vibing. And anybody in that position, I just have to personally give huge props to. So really appreciate you guys. Absolute legends.
Much love.
Straight into Melon. So I'm one of the founders in Melon. Just quickly, some of the questions that you had, let me just do a quick round of introduction then. Melon is obviously, it's a Web3 NFT startup. That's, I guess you could say, it's headquartered in London, UK. We have 12 people kind of distributed around Europe mostly. And we are a venture-backed company. We raised a pre-seed round $1 million last year, led by Shima Capital and other leading Web3 funds. As I mentioned, we're 12 people, and what we're building here is a ecosystem, a platform, and a product focusing on what we believe will be the future of the next wave of adoption, which is content collectible NFTs.
Content collectible?
Absolutely, content collectibles.
What
I
does
think I
that
can
mean?
share screen, right? Yeah. So let me go straight. Actually, very good question. So let me bring something out for you. I can share screen as well, right? I've been told. So that's gonna
Yeah, just hit present and it should work.
right. Amazing. Okay. So I'm gonna go do this. Share screen.
Yo, while he's doing that, I just want to give a shout out to Traverse City Whiskey. It's local, it's near me, but this is some of the best bourbon I've ever had. It's good. I have no affiliation with them at all, but for you bourbon drinkers, I
But
definitely
I'm looking to.
I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna send them this
You're like,
afterwards.
I
And
have
be
no
like,
affiliation with this wonderful, perfect brand of beer. Refreshing and crisp. And any time of day, what I want is a Sierra Nevada hazy IPA.
You guys made me thirsty. Oh my god.
You're gonna have to stay on the show now. We got another sponsor. We got Sierra Nevada.
All right, sorry, brother. Go ahead.
Right. So yeah, guys, can you see my screen by the way?
No,
Actually, hold on. I just need to do that.
Perfect. Oh, okay, we in. Amazing. Well, so let me just start off with content collectible NFT. So what I'm showing here, by the way, this is our white paper. It's on Gitbook. You guys can go check it out in detail if you want. But let me talk about
Why don't we
content
share that
collectible
on the
NFTs.
feed?
Huh?
Let's share it on Twitter.
Right. I'm gonna just
Yeah, you can
paste
just
it in the
pin
chat,
that.
and I'm gonna share here on this chat, and you can feel free to pin it. Also, this is our main website, Melon.ooo. Right? So let's go first into the content collectible NFT. So what we're saying is content collectible NFTs are most likely the biggest open secret in NFTs. So let me elaborate why is it the biggest open secret. These are some examples of content NFTs that have been sold over the last 2 years during the bull market and then later on even. I'm sure you recognize, if not everything.
Oh, you're saying like memes made into NFT.
Exactly. Absolutely. So you see here,
what do you
Jack
actually
Rossi.
own? Like, because those memes that come about, is there like, say you have that one and like any of those, which we all have used or seen, particularly the casket one. I love that one.
Yeah.
But does somebody get paid? I mean, is Twitter or Discord?
Okay, so let me go into the details a bit more. So content collectible NFTs, all these NFTs are, as you know, viral iconic moments, content, tweets. For example, Jack Rossi's tweet sold for $3 million. This Doge meme sold to Please There Are for 4 million. Later on, it was fractionalized, and the fractions are costing the total the market cap of fractions is now 16 million. Yeah, this casket meme TikTok sold 1 million last year, right? So yeah, we all know that each of these memes or content
you own all that you just said?
Sorry?
What was that last sentence you just said? You own that?
No. So these memes have been turned into NFTs by the creators themselves. Each of these are sold by the creators themselves, and somebody bought it for this amount, right? You probably heard of it, right? Yeah, we on the same page on that.
Yes. All good. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. That's
so essentially somebody owns it, right? I think so. Please That owns this one. This one is owned by some random guy, I think. So I think there's quite a few. There's one really big collector of memes. He owns multiple one of these. He spent like millions on memes already. And yeah, like so we all know, like, so essentially content NFTs are content that got turned by the original creator themselves into a collectible and got sold. So these are some examples. I just wanted to show you some examples from last year, right? And we all have seen these either on the news, the news, on Twitter. Everybody heard of this. Everybody know of these big figure sales. But for some reason, that whole content NFT space hasn't really popped off as much as PFPs. Certainly not as much as PFPs. Not even as much as art. But even though, like, we have some early, very strong indications that this is something that people are buying and spending an enormous amount of money on, right? So that's why we think this is the kind of the biggest open secret in NFTs. And even though, like, it's already out there, it's not happened yet, and this will be what kind of like it will come. It's time for content NFTs is coming. It's currently already in the motion, and what will happen most likely is content NFTs will lead the way for the next bull market. Like, we believe there's going to be two things that are going to lead the way for the next bull market mass adoption of the mainstream. One is gaming, which we all probably see the silver lining. Like we probably see that already there. And second will be this content NFTs, right? Because why? If you look at it, um, all these apes and PFPs that we all collect, we love them. I think it's fun, right? But like, let's be real. It's something for geeks like us. It's for a bunch of crypto geeks, right? It's not something that normal people, general public will want to buy and own and trade. Like they think it's like, at best they don't care, and at worst they think it's stupid, right? If I tell my mom that somebody bought a monkey picture for 100 grand, she thinks it's stupid, right? She laughs and she thinks it's stupid. But then I tell her, you know what? Actually, she likes Gangnam Style, it's like her favorite videos. She's like, actually, what we're building, you'll soon be able to buy and own digitally the Gangnam Style video from the creator Psy himself, potentially. That's what you'll be able to
Okay.
do.
So do
Right.
they mint this on a platform you have, or
Exactly.
what's
That's exactly what's happening. So that's what we focused on, and we've been building for a year and a half, maybe even more now. We've been like looking into the reasons why it hasn't popped yet, and one of the main reason is that there's not really an ecosystem or a platform that would enable creators to turn this content into NFTs and
why
like
not
kind of.
Manifold?
It's not really built exactly for us. I'll show you a sneak peek of a platform that we'll be launching soon, right now, and why it's special, and what we have in store for you. So first of all, straight into it. It's a bit actually alpha right now. Some of this content of this new platform that we're launching is launching with us. The fuck around find out guy himself is going to be launching the fuck around find out meme, the original fuck around find out, TikTok as an NFT in a couple of weeks with Melon, right? And now, especially with the meme season and stuff, I think the meme coins that's just like a bit of a
Why
blip.
do you guys call them meme NFTs? Why are you calling them content?
Because we'll have also, we work a lot of musical artists. We'll have a lot of music videos as well. So I think it's more than just memes. Memes is like one of the biggest things that will happen. So we'll have this guy dropping with us. This Pop Eye Kid, Dennis Cullen, he'll be dropping this meme as well with us. Probably going to be one of the biggest drops. I think the meme coin season right now is just like another sort of like signal of what's to come, which is this content NFTs. That's going to be the real thing. I mean, owning a coin of PayPal or some shit. I mean, that's kind of fun thing, but it's not really meaningful. This is really meaningful. But let's go into the platform. You asked what's different about Melon. Melon has specific features. Melon is a platform, and also it's a decentralized protocol that enables people to turn content, social media content, into collectibles natively. And there's many features that no other platform currently has. It's built specifically for this. So let me go straight into this.
What language is the
gentleman here.
platform built in?
Sorry?
What language?
Language. Well, there's multiple, right? So obviously the protocol. So like we wanted to build a protocol to be the most decentralized and the most most decentralized and immutable and composable as possible. So we are deploying on Ethereum. The protocol is on Ethereum, and I mean the native language. So that's Solidity for the protocol. But obviously for the platform, like the front end has, we're using multiple libraries, JavaScript libraries. We have a custom for back end as well, if that's what you're interested in. So just want to say, like, out of 12 people, like 70% of the people we are a technical team. Like, just a bit of background as well. We are a team that kind of been building products for a long time. I've been both in crypto a couple cycles, like myself, and like, so the team consists of people that work at Fortune 100 companies shipping products. We know how to ship products. I worked at McKinsey before. We have people here who work at HSBC, Microsoft, Apple, Land Rover, so we have like really experienced team that knows how to build products, ship product, and deliver. So it's not another basement kids project. No disrespect to that, but like, we are shippers.
You're building a technology platform.
Absolutely, it's a mainly tech first.
If this fuck around and find out guy mints this,
yeah, he's actually minting it.
Owns this, and Twitter or Discord builds it in. Are you getting a revenue stream sent to this NFT, or is it not related?
No, it's so okay. Let's go. First of all, let's go to Roger Scare, who he's the original content creator. As you can see here, we just announced not so recently that he himself, he's, as you see here, he's announcing that he's dropping the original meme on Melon as NFT. So let me show you how it works. So you asked about the platform, so let's go straight into it. So what's special about Melon is it's the only platform right now on the planet Earth that we know of. And the protocol is the only one that directly, natively integrates with social media platforms, such like the current Web 2
What about
platforms
those
such as
Polygon
TikTok.
NFTs I mean, I never fucked with them, but didn't Polygram have or Polygon have NFTs on Instagram?
Mm,
They just
I
shut
think
that down.
Instagram just
right.
deleted
I
all
think it's
those.
shut. They shut it down. Yeah, they
But
got shut
was
down.
it the same, similar, or wasn't similar?
No, it's more because we connect with all Web 2 platforms. We are not like, the integrated just one. So, for example, here, as you see, what we allow people to do is literally just embed the TikTok natively into the NFT metadata. So it literally feels like you're buying literally the history, buying the original TikTok, right? At the same
Are
time,
these fractionalized then?
sorry.
Do you fractionalize these and like drop them to your holders, or does this go up for auction, or what happens?
By the way, just want to say this is all testnet, yeah. So all these numbers and stuff like made up. It's just to showcase. It's just like an example.
Yeah,
So
got it.
there's no alpha here. If you want to look at the price or the supply and stuff, this is not it. It's
I got
just
you.
like a testing, yeah. Just want to announce that so people when they see it. Anyways, so
Bird
yeah.
Dog,
So what we'll do.
is going away, by the way. I think
Sorry?
fractionalized.art is shutting down right now.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah. I mean, like, are they additions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
So one of the reason we figure out why it's gonna open secret and it hasn't popped yet, like the whole content and meme NFTs, is because like it was one-to-ones. All those have been that I showed you, these ones, all of them have been sold for one-to-ones, and costing hundreds of thousands, right? And there's not that many people that can buy and trade hundreds of thousands or millions in some cases worth of NFTs. So the answer to mainstream adoption is to make it limited editions. So this fuck around find out drop will come as limited edition, and I think it will be very hot. It will be very in demand. This is one of the biggest memes currently, and potentially one of the biggest memes for the next decade. Everybody's using it. Elon Musk is using it, and some people will have a chance to own the original from the creator himself, full provenance. So like another thing we have, for example, the platform is like it saves all the metrics of the original post, such as the likes, views, when it was posted, when it was minted. There's going to be license as well attached, IP licensing attached to each drop, meaning you buy this, you might be able to own or like have a certain IP rights to the fuck around, for example, drop or such, which will be announced soon. So yeah, like and I'm just scratching the surface about the platform, but my point being is we are the only platform right now that
so
focuses
you're
on
actually
content
doing
NFTs.
a competitive technology platform that mints this targeted content meme and then distributes it. A couple just quick questions. Will these NFTs appear on OpenSea or can they be indexed?
Absolutely. It's fully decentralized, kind of ERC-721 drop, meaning you can buy and trade them on OpenSea eventually, or on LooksRare, Blur, whatever you want. You can lend them. It's fully composable, fully decentralized, immutable NFT. Because we've seen some cases where people been doing this, and it's not really a real decentralized NFT. It's kind of like in some almost like centralized database. We don't want that. These memes are very meaningful for culture, and we believe all of this content should be fully immutable, decentralized, and composable within sort of the Ethereum and like Web3 ecosystem. So yeah, you can trade this.
And then what are you issuing right now? Just each individual NFT, and then you guys take what percent when they issue?
We don't want to like go too deep until we're gonna announce it soon. We have like some early deals for early creators, which is very good. But right
if I
now,
want to go on your platform, how much do I pay? You don't tell me.
Not yet, because right now what we'll do is it's a curated platform. We sell very selective who we bring on right now.
How much
I don't know. Are you guys?
transactions has happened?
Sorry.
How much in actual transactions?
No, so that's what we're talking about. This is all testnet, what I'm showing you, and we are launching in 4 days. Or specifically, what we're launching is not a platform yet. What we're launching is first the Melon Pass. The Melon Pass is a pass. It's gonna go for on the public sale. It's gonna go for 0.082 ETH. So I would say very reasonable price. There's gonna be only 777 of them. 777.
What do you get when you get that?
Right. So what you get is essentially the access to the whole Melon ecosystem, which is pretty much the infrastructure, the future infrastructure for content collectible NFTs. That will be the Melon platform, Melon protocol. We'll be launching, we're going to tokenize the protocol and the platform eventually. There's going to be a DAO, so you're going to be able to claim the Melon token. And what people care probably about the most, you'll get first dibs for all these iconic drops. So the fuck around meme, For example, there's going to be limited edition. The Melon Pass holders will have the first access to it before anybody else, and most likely they will sell out to the pass holders. So yeah, but like I just want to say, the fuck around find out is just one of the drops. With Melon Pass, you buying into the whole ecosystem and like infrastructure of content collectibles, which we are building.
Okay. How many followers do you have on Twitter or in
Right.
Discord?
So currently we have 26K, and I think Twitter, Discord is 8K right now. So it's quite early.
And
Like
that's all organic.
yeah. So we done a giveaway campaign recently. We done a couple of hundred collabs for the Melon Pass, and it was quite successful. Yeah, so with that, we're launching.
And does the team, do you guys, it sounds like you all have pretty successful backgrounds.
Yeah, I mean, we've been around and we've been building.
Burn Dog, what do you got, pal?
I think you're muted, mate. You're muted.
I'm muted.
We can't hear your melodious.
I'm already almost done with my drink, so I'm just like, all right.
Got your swerve on. Gonna talk.
I'm already swerving, man. So yeah, you're gonna launch a token. Is that strictly a utility token? Are you creating a liquidity pool for that? What's the plan?
Right. So the token it has two functions. One is governance, and second, there will be utility, where holders will have access to drops and some kind of exclusive features on the platform, along with other things that we'll announce. But also, one very important thing is the governance of it. We believe infrastructure such as this that will be the backbone for content collectibles and essentially Web3 creator economy should have the decentralization implemented. We know there's a lot of like censorship right now. There's a lot of kind of deplatforming and a lot of like kind of like controversy with like centralized platforms. So this platform and protocol we believe should be owned and operated by the community itself. So that's where the tokens will come in. Early adopters, such as pass holders and buyers, will be doing a very generous airdrop soon. So keep an eye open for that.
Yep.
We'll be doing like airdrop that everybody can participate in, both like the.
Can we get the communities and the people listening would be great if we could get them somehow a shot at that.
Absolutely. So anybody's listening right now, go on, join our Discord. Say you're coming from RugRoast, and we'll give you a role. We'll be handing out some roles today for sure for all the OGs that are currently still in the bear market, learning and preparing and building the next wave.
Burn, can I go first?
Go for it, man.
So, honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I'd say it's clear this is a real professional and a big undertaking. Platforms, obviously, are an area I've spent a lot of time on, and I consult with Super Rare, and I think a lot about kind of what's happening in the platform space, and it's interesting to see such a focused, dedicated startup. I think Blur was an example of a trading-focused platform that pulled volume. Historically, Super Rare was art-focused, etc. So, clearly funded, VC backed, serious, here to try to make something that works. So all that stuff actually looked pretty great. The platform game generally, I think, is a hard game. I don't know enough about these. Like, I know that, sorry, I have to use but from what I see, like meme NFTs, and then like maybe you'll get artists like musicians and stuff. That's a whole big category we've talked about on the show before that I wish. I'm a aspiring rapper, so I hope that shit pops off. And I just put shit on SoundCloud and Spotify, so I'd love it if it did. But so what would I say in terms of team experience, investments, market focus, and clarity? These guys aren't fucking about with some unthought out blah, 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 bullshit. So all that stuff's super good. I think platforms are very interesting, potentially huge, very unclear for me now what people are going to be willing to pay for or not. You haven't told me the fundamental thing, which is how much you get paid. So I can't make any judgment if I don't know like what you're charging. If you're charging 1% versus 50, it's two separate things. So without that piece of information, it's sort of like hey,
Actually,
you want to buy this
yeah,
TV? And I'm like, sure. I'm like, how
yeah.
much?
Let me answer that.
I
Actually,
can't
real
tell
quick.
you, bro. So I'm like, well,
No, I think it's like this because like it's something that depends on the market, right? Like obviously OpenSea was charging an exorbitant amount, and then Bird came in, they had to change it.
1.5%.
Huh?
OpenSea only
No,
charges.
I'm saying OpenSea was charging a huge amount, then had to change it, right? So it's flexible. For us, actually, what's happening now, we're gonna give artists, we are paying artists to list, meaning like we're gonna do an airdrop where
Fuck,
people.
that's actually an interesting thing to know.
Yeah,
Like,
so
why
they're
would you
gonna
want to
get.
share that, bro?
Yeah,
That's like
let me just like finish that. So like I first of all like I want to just touch on the music NFT stuff and the fact that you're a rapper. I really want to discuss something real quick with you. But before that, just go into the fees, right? So we believe that if artists come and like build up a platform, then they should be rewarded as well. So we're gonna give an airdrop to some like early artists to get a Melon token that are dropping on Melon as well. And so they have a stake in the platform that they help to bring to life,
yeah.
right? And I
I
think
mean,
it's
a lot of
absolutely
people.
fair.
There's been this. I think Babylon tried this. Okay, I think that's actually super interesting. My read is you're well positioned to have a shot. I just don't know if this is how people like shop for. So far, there's been
Can I ask you? Let's talk.
you
Let's
have to
touch on the
shop.
music. If I can ask, you said music. Have you heard of platform like Sound.xyz? You should
Yeah.
definitely check out. Let me show you right now since I have
And
the
I
screen.
apologize. We probably only have 2 minutes left to wrap up. So
Okay.
no,
So
I think yeah.
this platform is probably the biggest music NFT platform. Not probably is the leading music NFT platform right now. It has hundreds of artists already. Everybody from Snoop Dogg to Ryan Tedder up to like indie artists with 50 followers. It's absolutely killing it, and they are right now building already future of music Web3 and music NFTs is just a subsection, a subset of Web3 like content NFTs, right? Music NFTs
Yeah,
is part of content
I
NFTs.
think they're a different thing. My experience is like because they're fundamentally driven by like we had one of our guests on. I can't remember. He had a really thoughtful point. I think it might have been Guido. I think the thing is people like are used to consuming art and pictures in a certain way versus music and like having playlists and having access to all your music in one place. I mean, look, I'll go check this out. I'm really hopeful this all works because I think it's like super cool if it does. So I'm definitely in the camp of like, okay, Burn, you want to take a shot? So my rating is knowing they're paying artists now. Honestly, it sounds like they're a real thing, and I still don't understand how these NFTs, if like to me, these NFTs in particular, I'd want a royalty stream of like, hey, if I own this thing, like and it's embedded in Discord and Twitter, like I should get a royalty stream. So if there was stuff like that, it would make it much more interesting to me. And I do think like if you look at a lot of people who bought those like moments in history, they've been fucking smoked generally, and there's not huge liquidity. It's it's hard for me. I do need to do a better job rating Burn, but I just
There's no liquidity in NFTs at all, right?
Yeah, and like as I said, those were like such high sales. Like if you buy a $3 million tweet, there's so many people that are willing to trade that with you. But if
yeah,
it's
that's
like
what I'm saying. You're already in like it's what artists hit 100 ETH. Like all of a sudden, the same buy there's like 20 buyers. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Well, here's what I'd say: very professional, very well presented, very thoughtful, invested money. I'm unclear about the platform position and if people will like, shift to this platform to do stuff in this area. I think there's a lot of unknowns, but I think it's a pretty it definitely has a viable shot at working and surviving and doing well, which most NFTs don't. So I rated like 6.5, 7.
okay, thank you, man. Thank you for
Yeah,
your
you did
feedback.
good. I mean, this is good. You did good. I'm quite unclear about if people will come and buy in this way.
Well, it's already happened, right? Like I mean, that's why it's called
But I
open
just
season.
meant, man, like, yeah, it's happened, but those are if you do those are like doing a hits business. Like, hey, I have a movie, and if like I get hits this year, I make money, and if I don't get hits, I don't. It's just like a different sort of business than, hey, I'm a platform and I just have volume coming through and I'm getting paid, and a lot of people are trading. Like, it's just a different thing. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's a good rating. That's a pretty good rating. So
I see what you're saying.
So
I guess obviously we have 20 minutes and there's not much depth that we can go to in that short amount of time. But
Yeah, you did
after
good though, bro.
everything,
You did good. Feel good. You got one of my highest ratings
wow.
that was a
because
good rating, man.
most of the projects I'm like, this thing's not. I don't see how it actually exists. So the fact that, so I know it's hard, but like think about it. 99% of NFTs projects fail. So if you're
Mhm.
telling somebody, hey, I think you're actually reasonably good shot at being that top couple percent, that's like, to me,
That's
that's the
good.
biggest like
Yeah. No, I
respect.
appreciate that
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
okay. Same as OG. I like the team. I like the fact that you got some VC funding. You built a nice looking platform. The UI looks good. Good structure. You know, you're going to reward holders of the pass with airdrops and things like that. The mint price 0.082, a little high right now. I get it. You've got a lot into this. You've got backing, you've got investors, things like that. But this is like the worst market. So that's maybe a little high, but it might be worth it, right? Because people are going to get an airdrop out of it and everything.
And
I think my one concern is like you've got the fuck around and find out guy. That's good. But how are you going to attract all these people with those memes or the really good content, right? And maybe you don't need all the top ones. Maybe you just need to spread the word to enough people who have things that are mintable and sellable, right? So I don't think that'll be easy. And then just marketing in general, right? So
let me
you'll
just
have
answer that real quick if I can, because
okay,
we actually, yeah, we have some of this already big memes, but it's just what we announced. We already actually signed more than 100 creators with millions and millions of followers, which we haven't announced yet. And essentially, that's what we're good at. Like, as I told you, the team has experience in just
Yeah.
shipping and doing sales, and very good at that. And I think it's going to be a very important piece of infrastructure for content NFTs, music video NFTs. The whole music, there's nothing really right now for music videos.
perfect.
Um,
Yeah, we got it. We got it. That's good. Okay, nice. So over 100 creators signed, lots of followers. That's good. That's going to give you exposure. Um, yeah, I mean, I like
Yeah,
it.
good job,
I
man. We
think
really appreciate you've done a great job and really enjoy having you on the show. And again, I think hopefully you feel this. I know sometimes that's why I told Bern it's hard for me because I'm like, I don't want to be. This was a good review, and I think you built something real here. So best of luck. I'm excited to see how it pans out.
I'm going to give you a 7.2,
thank you.
7.235,
What about
7.2.
6.9? I was hoping for that, but
6.9420. That's my rating.
yeah, that's good, man.
6.9420.
I like it, bro.
6.9420 is my official rating. I wrote it on the notepad.
Amazing. Thank you
We're
guys
right.
so much.
Thanks,
Much
man.
love.
Stay in touch. Appreciate it.
100%. Thank you guys very much for the time again, and really was a pleasure to showcase what we've done here in the platform. And
You're great.
yeah, stay in touch.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, man. Yeah. So our next guest is
You see this
the
shit in
Money
the background? Wait, check this out.
I know. I was watching the
You see
window
that
wash,
shit?
and I
Guys,
was like,
I'm getting the windows cleaned. I was like, bro, I'm gonna be in a thing at 11 to 12. I don't think he realized. I fucking told him. So tell me if that's distracting. But
no, it's not. But like earlier when we were talking, like the screens were smaller. I was like, is that a dog jumping up and down? But
see
it
this
was like,
motherfucker right here. You see him like,
yeah, it's gonna be squeaky clean though.
yeah,
He's
it's
peeking
gonna look
in.
good. All right, let's rock. Money Click.
So we've got the Money Clicc. OG is the
Unc was
founder.
gonna join us. Unfortunately, he couldn't.
All right. Yep. Uncle Penny rugged us, so he's not joining.
He's gonna be pissed. He said
Yeah,
that.
you've got a good team. So I guess let's just do the normal
You know, my
format.
standard intro. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll do the
tell me about
project
your.
intro. So I'm OG. I founded the Money Click mid last year with several partners. Uncle Penny Bags, who I work most closely with day to day, as well as the real Vidali and Mike Dawson. And then we brought on two mods, Unk Juke and Boom Sneaks. So where the project was born out of a desire to see more art focused work in Twitter banners. That was my first idea. I was like looking at a CryptoPunk profile. I'm like, this motherfucker's got like $1 million PFP and some shit Microsoft like MS Paint art as the banner. So the original idea was to do banners, and then we transformed really into a permanent artist and collectors community where we bring together both the most successful, cool artists who we think, as well as emerging artists who we think are the future stars, with some of the best collectors in the space. And then we really in the Clicc tackle issues around what's a lot of focus on kind of not an alpha like trading projects, but like core what's happening in the market, what artists should you focus on, what areas, like more sort of longer term committed focus on stuff. And we originally set out to reflect this sort of, we had a chat group with the four of us, me, Unk, Fidali, and Mike, and we would engage in really straight, unemotional, like positive discussions. So we have 3 collections. This is Money Clicc, which is everything from free drops to emerging artists and some more established artists. Then we have the Money Clicc Reserve, which are artists who sell typically for 5 ETH or more, often 10 ETH or more. And then we have the Money Clicc Familia, which is the access to get into the Clicc. So I'd say quickly are some highlights. We dropped art from OSF, C4, who I love. We've had some incredible artists. We have many incredible artists. We have a wonderful community. We've had a lot of support from other curation tokens. I own Noble and Alpha Dog and Rare Pass. Artifaction and C4 are in the Clicc. Mondog and Burbs are in the Clicc. Sergito, Ozymandias, Flannel Capital, the London Syndicate, like A Fearful Jesuit, Tyler, some super amazing people like Woof Woof, OSF's in the Clicc, Mando's in the Clicc. So it's been pretty exciting, and I'd say our strengths really were small, tight-knit, here for the art and like artist discovery and exploring issues. And look, we're small and not super scalable in this format, which is all right. We have 100 passes, 14 are held in treasury to support projects that support the Clicc. And then, we have like 86 members, of which I'd say over 50 are pretty active, and we're trying to get all active. So that's the Clicc. And so, yeah, I'm OG in the Money Clicc. I'm like one of the co-founders. It was my idea. And then, as I said, Unk, Vidali, and Mike are co-founders with me, and Unk and I sort of handle most of the day-to-day and artists, working with Unk and Mike on operations. You're muted, bro.
All right. I gotta figure that out. This whole being a boomer thing is not going well for me. So first, Jamie said, "Come for the feet pics, stay for the art." Absolutely. But I was just gonna say, how did you establish relationships with all these artists? A lot of like big names, and also upcoming, just really good artists. How did that happen?
Thanks, pal. When I started in the space, like many people, I was like, hey, there was something that inherently attracted me about NFTs and Ethereum. And once I started looking, I couldn't stop. And I think NFTs are such an interesting intersection between like finance, art, community, culture, and like engagement. And I think when I first came into NFTs, I was like, how the fuck am I going to know or trust anybody? These motherfuckers, I don't know their name or anyway. It turns out my view is actually you can know people much better and be much closer. Everyone can look at my 50 or 60 wallets, and everyone can look at Twitter and Discord and see am I fucking full of shit and listen to me here. So what's ended up happening, Burn, as you know, is so starting last year as I surveyed the space, I was like, look, trying to figure out how to make money, and everything's gone down forever. But the first thing I started getting attracted to art and OSF's kind of combo of what I call art, finance, and structure. And I was captivated by both the art and what made successful art in NFTs, and then the ecosystem and structure. So I made my first bold move buying an OSF 1-of-1 for at the time 40.42069 ETH. And I think that made a huge difference in terms of it showed artists I was a real buyer. I wasn't just there to bother. And then honestly, bro, it's the funny thing. People will say that, and I'm like, fuck, I've never networked in my whole fucking life. I've never gone somewhere with the intent. What I do is I constantly scour for art. And now that I know a lot of artists, they tell me about other artists, and now that I know a lot of collectors, they tell me about other collectors. I think I've been told that because I'm so straight, I'll just like say straight up. So when I find art I like or a collector, I'll just like go in. I'll be like, hey, here, I think that shit. Like yesterday, I said, I think that Andrea did. I was like, this shit is just bomb as fuck. Like, I love what you're doing here, and I'm just real and straight with them. And so I think that so doing a lot of collecting and artist outreach, supporting a ton of artists who then tell other artists like, yo, this guy's all right, like he can help you, call him up. And then the other thing I think is radically underrated is like in-person stuff. Like in real life, I've had the opportunity starting with like the New York NFT show last year. I was like, holy, you know, and so I go to almost all the NFT shows and like hang with people. And when somebody sees you in person, has your vibe, again, you meet more people and so on. And so I feel really blessed and lucky. I think this space feels like home. And fuck, I've been an art, I've been collecting tattoos for 24 years and never a sort of a formal art collector, but an image collector. And so this is just speaks to me in a way in the culture here, like is all the things I mean, scammers and scumbags and all the shit we don't like. The good parts are the best anything I've been. And so I think I come at it that way here to like be straight, be real, like bring value and figure if I'm great to people, they'll be great to me. And that's what's happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Pays off. I mean, just helping people. And then collecting. I remember when you bought that OSF one of one. That was awesome. So a little jealous you have that, but you still don't have a red light district. So technically you shouldn't get the claims.
I had 3 red light districts. I had 2 red light districts. I had 1, then I got 2, and then I spun the 2 into the 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Actually, your future host bought my red light district.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And didn't he buy the top? It was like 15.
No, people paid more. He paid $13.69, I think. Maybe paid $15.2. I don't know.
He'll be all right, man. I mean,
Right.
in 5 years it'll be worth 100 each, so he'll be good. Yeah. But
look,
yeah,
I think one of the issues I'd like to explore, if you're open to me feeding you questions, is like let's talk about curation tokens and let's talk about the art market generally. Like, why should the Clicc exist?
Yeah.
So when we first started, there was Alpha Dog, and I think Noble was forming. Oddly, they sort of don't remember them on the radar. And so we were, I'd say, around the time that art tokens were hot, we came up organically. And so I think at the time and from then, our fundamental idea has been twofold. One is that there's a massive proliferation in the number of artists in the space. And whether you're a platform or a curator, somebody who can help make sense of this noise and be a reliable, unbiased source that has like your, similar economic and art and cultural, and, priorities as you. So I think like curation has taken on more importance as there's fewer collectors entering versus artists. The other thing having these tokens, I think and allows us, you just brought up something is like, I collect 101s and then I've been so lucky. There's so many wonderful artists who will like then, who will work with the Clicc, whether I've done that or not. And I think like getting access increasingly, in addition to a few stars, like up emerging stars, and I'll tell you some of the ones and how we found them. But I think increasingly there's some top artists who are getting more and more share because buying those established artists is a much lower risk proposition. You can spend 450 grand on X copy, and you're much less likely to lose money than spending 250 grand on a bunch of randos. And so I think the Clicc and curation tokens serve a great purpose in that they can get hopefully less risky bets of emerging artists because it's people who hopefully have been successful, and the infrastructure can support. If our token supports an artist, it gets them in front of the better collectors and hopefully helps them. And then by having great collectors and great artists, the other great artists want to drop with us. So I also think like community is ultimately everything. If you look at every successful NFT, you need a reason for people to come back. And what I've ultimately found is art, alpha, and fun are the only things that get motherfuckers to stay. you can't just keep talking about the same NFT, or you can't keep doing the same shit. Eventually it gets old. And so I think like people pop into the Discord, and we have two sets of people. We have a whole bunch of artists in there dropping work every day. Like artists know this is their home. We have artists who have sub Discords in our Discord. Rather than having their own Discord, they're in the click. And then everyone knows like we're gonna have motherfuckers with opinions on all this shit that's happening. And we're gonna be like straight and cool. There's no like shaming. It's just like, yo, I think this shit sucks. And somebody else is like, I think it's great. And you're like, cool, here's why I think it sucks. And they're like, here's why I think it's great. And so what I've noticed increasingly is, oddly, like I hate the bear for all of us who like need to eat off this shit. But I love the bear, and that what I'm seeing in the last like 2 months is just a massive increase in the interest in the click, because people see like we're fucking here, bro. We ain't gone anywhere from day one. And we ain't doing this for the money. We're doing this because we like money, of course, but everyone can look at the fucking economics. So we're doing this because we really fucking want to be an example of what's cool in this game. And we really love like doing this. And I think people feel that, and they show up, and and I think it's a cool thing. And so like we're now been around a while, and we ain't going anywhere. We're getting sharper, and we're getting better artists. And so I think on discovering emerging artists, how do I do that? Or how do we do that? Maybe okay or not is, I think generally with art, first it has to be like an artist. And by the way, biggest respect to artists. As many people who know follow me, I've now made about 12,000 images in AI. I do it every day. I do all kinds of art study and so on.
And you've minted what, one?
What?
You've minted like what, one? One.
Sold one piece, yeah.
Take that as a lesson, artists.
Well, please don't do what I do. I'm a fucking moron. Well, that's my point, is like, so I think finding a distinct style as an artist is like one of the things that we at the Click look for. And we have different strengths. Ankh is a remarkable artist and collector. The real Vidali has brought some incredible artists to the Click, and Ankh. We have a lot of people who have very different but very incredible tastes. And so I think the first thing we all look for is that. Then we look, does it reflect something in the vibe, the community, the culture? And I think there's a inherent battle in a lot of art. Like the more crypto native it is, typically like the less accessible. Like Xcopy, if you show that to my 84-year-old dad, he's like, what the fuck, But if you show like Grant Yoon or Jeremy Booth, like when I first showed Jeremy Booth to my dad, I did the dad test. He's like, I'm like, here's one you're going to like. And he's like, yeah, I love that one. So I think there's the next thing we look for is like, is it of the culture, but could it be widely accessible? So if it's of the culture, is it so of the culture like Xcopy, OSF, where you have so many people who like love it that there's a huge market? The ideal is deep in the culture, like I think Bastian and Jeremy and so on. There's some people who are like that, who fit both boxes. So that's what we like. Then ecosystem, as everyone knows, like, I'm obsessed with artists, ecosystems, and the structure of their ecosystems. I think, unfortunately, since everything is public, everything about your ecosystem is available. And the more NFTs you sell, the less control you have over supply. If you sold 50 NFTs, 49 NFTs are typically in the hands of some motherfucker who, if the wind blows the wrong way and they're not tight with you, don't matter what you do in price and primary, they're out there competing to sell. And so I spent a ton of time. I've helped, I think, 10 artists get on Super Rare, and I've advised 30 plus artists, but we do a lot of like, and in the early days, a lot of them will lean hard on us, and those are my fun days. Like C4 and I think Jeremy, we were on a Super Rare podcast. Like one of my great joys was those like early months with Jeremy after buying. We were all on a Twitter DM, just like brainstorming every day. So, and so then ultimately, I think it all boils into community. So those are the things we look for, and artists actually. Another big thing I look for now is smart. You got to be smart, because everything's
can't just slam supply onto the market, right? Just like,
what I mean is you have to actually be, because this you're basically a startup business, and the market is changing every day. And like the OE meta comes, and you're like, yo, motherfucker, you're gonna do this. And if you follow every artist, like it's very hard to understand. This is why there's a place for an advisor or the click is like every artist is trying to do their art. And then all this shit's happening in the market. They're like, should I do this? I just saw this person make all this money. And so determining like how you come to market and what you do has a radical, and I've seen some great artists who all of a sudden get caught and sell everything and then destroy their whole market. Or, I've seen people gotten up to huge ETH prices to just to smash back down. And so I think having somebody who's thoughtful, who can understand, or at least surround themselves with people and listen who do understand, because it's a very different skill.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, so for any art collector or artist, I think the click is a good spot. And I'm not just trying to give you a commercial because you're my friend. For collectors, so talking with Uncle, he's told me he's made a lot of money just from alpha. So you're going to hear things in there that you're not going to hear anyone else. You've got these big collectors and these big artists in there all conversing. So it major advantage there. I paper handed my my pass, by the way.
Right, you made like 2 ETH on it though. You sold it.
I made
think
some
you
money.
issued it at 0.42 and you sold it at 2 or 2.5 ETH.
Yeah, I did pretty good.
You did
on
fucking
it.
good.
And I'm a trader, right? So sometimes I do that and I end up regretting it in the long
Trader,
run.
Traitor, you mean?
Yeah, I'm a trader and a traitor.
Trader and a trader.
But yeah, the artists too. Like if you're in there, you're gonna be speaking with these big collectors, these big artists who can all give you advice. You've got access to OG, who, like you've said, you've consulted with a lot of artists and helped them really just elevate their brand and make sure that they're doing it the right way. Avoiding those traps that come with a meta, right? So you might be able to make a lot in a meta, but you got to think longer term than that. And then last point on the dad test. So I did the mother-in-law test yesterday with my new Die with the Most Likes. 9 of natural causes at Chuck E. Cheese.
Say?
I showed it to her and she just stared at me.
She's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
She goes, "Can't your girls make that?"
That's what I call crypto native, but it's so incredible.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he already had Die on, but that motherfucker is a genius.
Yeah, that's why I got this. I mean, a physical from him is like, first of all, it's cool as fuck. Second of all, I mean, I think it's going to age really well over time anyway. So happy I got it. My wife is saying
yeah, one of the things, I think you're right to say that. One of the things I think in NFTs too, like a lot of art, is like there's certain pieces and so on that like, I always joke, like if you go in the doctor and you're like, "Yo, doc, like I got hit and it hurts." If you're like, "Hey, doc, I received blunt trauma to my anterior quadriceps and I have associated neuropathy," they're like, so I think when somebody like looks at your wallet and they see what you fuck with, like it makes a big statement. And I think like Die is one of those kinds of things, like a punk, right guy.
Yeah, his shit is like, it's cool, man. It's like, it's cool. Yeah. And it's really relatable. Like all of his art is super relatable to me.
So Bert, ask me the hard question, which is how are we going to grow the click?
I was going to ask, how are you going to grow it? What's the future? What's the plan with the click? What are you going to do?
So this has been like, honestly, one of the hardest like strategic questions we faced. And I think like we shifted to a permanent token. So like we sold one token, which was actually a burn exchange. So we didn't take in revenue. And then we sell and people in the click can choose what they buy or participate in. What's interesting though, is it puts you in this weird position is like, if the people aren't buying, you can't pay artists and you can't stay on the radar. You don't want to dilute the people. And what we do in the click is we either do, it's always click limited. So like you only can get those pieces if you're in the click. And we do a variety of mechanisms from click or die, which means the number of people in the click who minted is the edition size, all the way to like a determined number of editions. And then you do whatever pricing, is usually a discount to what it would usually be. So the question is, how do you take this and scale? So I have a variety of views and we've talked within the shot callers of the click, and it's not easy. We don't have a great answer. And what I can say though is like, look, we have moved very carefully and slow, and we went from a seasonal to a permanent structure, which was a big transition. We've aligned all the branding around Money_Click. We've added some new dimensions to the Click with artists, sub Discord, fake Rex, and some other projects. I think what we're going to do over time is always respect the OG Familia holders. My view is like, and I believe this with artists, I believe with the Click. If you were there from the jump, like you're special. And it don't mean other people aren't going to have great opportunities, but you're going to have the greatest. So I think there'll be things around digital identity. I always think communities and your digital identity, like I used to change my PFP a lot. I don't so much. But I think like reflecting your community and your digital identity is critical. So I think there'll be an aspect of the Click that directly takes on like digital identity community. I think examining access over time by owning not the Familia card, but by having some access and maybe less access to drops, more access to Discord. Discord was a big priority for me personally, and the Click embraced it with some hesitation at first, but ultimately embraced it hard. But I think the Discord has turned out to be a hugely value-added thing we do. So using access to Discord versus art is one kind of way to expand the Click. And then I think depending on several things, I think there's not many native crypto art brands that have great like merch brands. Like Super has great merch, and I like respect the fuck out of it, you know. And when they retweeted the picture of me and all their merch, like people in New York were like coming up to me the one day I wore it and like fucking with me. It's cool. But I always think when you're in NFTs, the temptation is to think you have to make the money in NFTs. When it turns out you can make a lot of money in NFTs by all sorts of stuff that isn't NFTs. Like, look, LVMH, the dude's the richest dude in the world. Like, he sells fucking t-shirts and shit. So Christie's, when I was walking in London one day, I just let my soul take me. I walked by the Christie's window. Some guy randomly, he's like, hey, man, we're having this like contemporary exhibit. Why don't you come look? He just like grabbed me on the street. And right in the window there was like a pair of Jordans for $6,500. So like, I think there's a lot of like untapped, like Supreme was amazing when it was Supreme before it sold out. I'm like a huge believer that what makes something cool is like almost none of it. Like nobody can have it, you know, like everybody wants it. And so I think we're going to try to do some shit like that. Like, you know,
Yeah,
hey, like how much everybody was going to want it. And if you have it, you're a fucking G, you know.
Super high quality, low supply, good shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And to your point on the Discord access, I think it would be great to have another way to get into the Discord without, you know, having to pay close to an ETH, right? So
well, it depends on the time. Let's see who's paper handling.
Changes every day, right?
Yeah. But I think and remember you're getting access to all the drops. I actually I know there's 2 listed, 0.85 and 2 ETH. There's only 2 out of 100 listed. So and my view is like, hey, I actually like them. Like my view, I was not as effective as I'd hoped. I tried to shake the trees and tell people, hey, here's what the Click is. Like, yo, if you're not into this, like we're probably not for you. And oddly, like a lot fewer people like sold than I might hope. So I think for everybody in the Click and who wants to be in the Click, like we want people who are down with this, you know. Like I'm about it. And so we're going to keep building and never do anything. We've done a burn exchange because we had 2 tokens, which was confusing into one. We can only have 1 access token. There might be an opportunity with some addition sets and some, you know, to get different access. And that's probably, and we'll just keep it tight. And then we'll look at other ways, like I said. Sometimes the answer is you can grow without, the answer is how do you grow without, the question is how do you grow without dilution? And the answer is very difficult, but that's what we're going to try to do nonstop.
Yeah, it's good.
But you need a good audience. Look at, like, you can't survive in this game without audience expansion.
That's true. Yeah, you got to find a way to do it. I mean, I think Alpha Dog did a pretty good job of that with the Degen Civ Mint. You know, they brought in a lot more people into the ecosystem without diluting the core of what they are, right? So you've got the tags and you've got the You got the frogs as well. So there's different things you can do. And I know that you're really supply conscious. So I'm sure whatever you do end up doing you'll do it right.
I fucking
Because
hate
supply is big.
supply.
I mean, that's like the first thing I want to know about a project. Like, what's the supply? If they say 10K,
And what?
no, thank you. And even right now, I think like 1,000 is still maybe pretty high. Like 500 is what sounds like a good supply if you're going to look to try to expand something. But
Burn Dog, can I say a thank you to you?
Yeah, man, for sure.
So Burn Dog first approached me on this show some time back, and he's like, "Hey, I want to do a show on Rug Radio, and I'd love you to be my co-host." And Burn Dog and I, those of you in the DGens Discord, know that since early last year, we always been sort of fucking with each other, and I get banned. I used to get banned like every fucking day, so
a couple times a day.
A couple times a day. I think I was banned like 100 times because I'm like such a like maniacal typer.
You tweet one word at a time for a whole paragraph, so it just goes doop, 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 doop.
So, you know, I think like Burn's always trying to bring people together, and he's involved in some great projects that are dear to my heart, and I'm just super thankful he, asked me to join him. And I think, when I was going to approach him about the transition, it's always a hard topic, but he was delightful about it. And as usual, we're a team. And I just want to say he's a real wonderful guy and a real does his best in the community. And I just want to thank you again for the opportunity. I think it opened my eyes to this medium and made me excited again about kind of engaging with people in NFTs. And so I just really want to thank you, and thank you for making the transition so easy.
Yeah. Hey, no problem. And thank you, man. Like when I approached you, you told me right away that, you were a little hesitant about coming on and just roasting projects. It's not your style, right? You're an art guy, I would say, for sure. That's where you built your brand. That's what, you're a collector and a builder of a pretty solid project. So you made an exception to come in and help me build this thing, and dude, thank you for that, because the structure there wouldn't have been a structure had you not came in and helped build it out. So I appreciate that. And again, like I said, anytime you can come back on the show when you launch your show, I'm happy to hop on it as a guest, although I don't know what type of insight I can give.
I'm going to bring your art up.
Right. Oh yeah. But yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you coming, helping build it.
Yeah, and I think for the audience, like, have you announced who's coming? You haven't said his name yet.
I haven't said it yet. No, I think I'm gonna tease that. I'm gonna make.
All I can say is the person taking over is a near and dear friend of mine who I've spent a lot of time in real life and virtually with, and I think is a great fit for what these guys are doing. And I'm hyped and appreciate you listening, and hope you listen to the new show, which I'll share once we're up and running or getting close. And Burn Dog, you're the man. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yep, and the guy, I'll give you guys one hint. He loves the Victory hoodie right here. He loves it. He told me a couple times it's the number one Rect Guy trait.
This is blatant lies.
In private. So he privately tells me that all the time.
I privately told the guys who bought it from me too that I thought it was great.
You handed it what 6.9,
bro.
This is an $8,000 NFT right here, but I get it. Traders got to trade, man.
Not a trader. I just didn't think it was visually. My view. For a PFP trade to be successful, it has to be visually discerning at a small size, and the Victory hoodie is not.
I know it's
rare.
Yeah.
That's why I fucking bought it for 1.5 ETH. It's like this is rare. It's there's 4 of them.
Not just rare, it's historical. A Victory on a Rect Guy, like it contradicts itself and it's perfect, and it tells a story. Right. But we'll get into that next week. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, OG. Thanks everyone for listening.
Next week, back with the Burn Dog and the mystery host. The
host next week.
Let's go.
But yeah, like the YouTube, follow, tweet, do all that sharing shit and everything. And let's throw on a little banger on the way out. We're gonna do this one.
Yeah. You're gonna fucking do that.
Money Clicc 23. Let's get it.
Had to do it, man.
The hottest selling product, man. He trending on the topic. No, we hotter than the tropics. Yeah, you know my girls are goddess. Obnoxiously obnoxious.
Dude, this gets stuck in my head.
Cause the market's always watching. Wish you never wanna flow sick. Never gonna drop it. Never gonna knock shit. Never stop till I'm looking down from the top. Get my cop beds till I dug hop drip. Dip to the studio, then undrop this. Flip them like they switches. Aladdin, all they wish. All stacked up like a pile of dirty fucking dishes. Dump your bitch, they tell you about them fishes. Hook won't fall in love, then it's finished. Yeah, we wear a rocked it. Money click hotness. Lights in my pocket, and I'm not gonna stop this. Talk shit, knock you unconscious.
I went in the booth and over that. All right, brother. Happy Friday, all. Much love.
Peace out.